You're listening to DJ Medi Major.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy DJ Medi Major, man, back again. Episode 51. I know. It's been a long time. I should have left you. Yo, man, if I had... It would take a podcast in itself to explain everything that I just been through in the last month. I definitely appreciate y'all being patient with me. I had a couple people reach out, ask me, yo, what the deal is, when you getting back with the podcast, the whole nine. So I'm back, you know what I'm saying? This is going to be a discussion podcast, long overdue. To put it in perspective, the last time I recorded a podcast, the Miami Heat were in the playoffs, or the playoffs were about to begin, and now we literally a few games out from the NBA Finals. So it's been, a nice little minute since I came on and was able to, talk to y'all, talk to my people, man. Y'all my people, Big moves being made, big boy gang moves, you know what I'm saying? So we, I had a lot going. I'm not going to get into the specifics, the details. Had a lot of adversity come up, per se, you know what I'm saying? And I had to really be able to fight through that. I made adjustments. I did what I had to do, and now we here, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. But enough of that. When we talking about today, we gonna talk about something I should have, like I said, long overdue. Should have been spoke about since the draft. I think the last time I recorded a podcast, the draft hadn't even happened yet. So to put that in perspective, at the time of this recording, all the rookies have essentially signed their deals, done rookie mini camps, have already been with their teams, got jerseys on sale, went to the rookie symposium in Cali, the whole nine. So I'm gonna talk about my Canes. I want to get my boy Ty B on this episode. We've had scheduling conflicts amongst all the other nonsense. I will get him on at a later point in time so he can talk about the guys that got drafted from LSU. We're gonna try to keep that, continuous back and forth between us prior to the home game, and obviously it'll be a follow-up, and we'll just kind of go from there. Definitely excited about the game coming up. I'm still on the fence about if I'll be attending or not. I got a lot of things coming up shortly in the near future, so that may just not be feasible. The hope is to catch one game. I got some other situations I got to do. If I can't catch that game, at least one game, you know what I'm saying, I'll go through the alternative methods and the things I normally go through. So with that being said, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. Let's have this conversation, man. Everything I'll be talking about today is on my Canes that were drafted, as well as what the outlook of some of those individuals I think is going to be, as well as the undrafted free agents. I'm going to start this episode off with the undrafted free agents, and I'm glad that it kind of happened the way it did, because I think it would, what I'm about to say is going to kind of put into perspective about why those people were undrafted free agents and why other people weren't. So here we go. As far as undrafted free agents go, D. Delaney signed an undrafted free agent deal along with Casey McDermott with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll put it like this. If you know me and you've been following me, you know I'm not part of hashtag Blame Rozier game. To this day, I'm still not part of hashtag Blame Rozier. And we had the spring game. If you know about the spring game, you understand that there was plenty of opportunity for not one, not two, but three different quarterbacks to beat out Rozier. And that post-spring, that has yet to happen. The freshmen that did not participate in spring arrive literally today at the time of this recording. They have been arriving, moving their stuff on campus, and probably since last Wednesday. So the other guys are enjoying their vacation, their time off. Semester just ended, so when they get back, brand new bunch of fresh faces ready to get trained up, start making impacts. I'll give you another episode about that later on. But for now, back to my original point. A bunch of people weren't drafted, and I don't think this is I think this is solely on them, and I'm gonna explain. So for Blame Rozier gang, who and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm doing my own personal film research, and I'm researching. I think a lot of things were held back from us and hidden away from us as fans for a reason. Last night I finished watching 2 games. Shout out to that boy Matheus Milanez on YouTube. My man for I think the past 3 or 4 seasons has been posting the full games, no commercials, and it helps me personally get through the tedious point of the year that we all know, that summer of the off season. And I go back and watch things. This season's obviously a little bit better. The best season I've had to watch in quite some time, and I'm a super appreciative of that. That 10-win season. So I just finished the North Carolina game last night, approximately about 2:30 in the morning, and I'm going through and doing my own film assessment because I kind of want to see some things, and what has become pretty clear to me is once again my original point stands as I've always seen it. There was a point in the game in which Malik Rozier just left. No explanation, nothing. They said he went back with a shoulder injury. When he reemerged, what I noticed from watching the film last night is that his arm was taped up a certain way. At that point, the week before that, I watched a Syracuse game. And if you watch that Syracuse game, you go back and watch it, Malik Rozier was not the problem. And I'm going to re-emphasize that again. I haven't done any YouTube videos or any podcasts going back that far because I wasn't doing recaps and previews yet. But I can honestly say without a shadow of a doubt, that man was on fire starting that game. That was the last time I can honestly say he was healthy, right? Amon Richards, and a multitude of other receivers. I'm not going to sit there and go through, but we're dropping balls left and right. I'm talking about breadbasket in the hands. Not Deontay Mullins. I think Deontay Mullins may have dropped one. A couple of dudes was just dropping balls left and right. Every incompletion he had, he started off the series 4 for 5. His first series, drove down, literally threw a touchdown to Amon Richards, who dropped it in the end zone. It could have made the argument for the catch. He secured the ball, had it up, took 2 steps. The defender kept fighting through and raked the ball out last minute, and they called it incomplete. That's a toss-up. You can really say, but that wasn't Malik Rozier's fault at all. I watched through, and he wasn't as sharp as before, but his offensive line was not protecting him at all. Like I've said throughout the years. Another thing, something we didn't make a big deal about because we were winning, and it wasn't until after people wanted to bash up what I saw was a visibly hurt Malik that the running game was never established. Like, Mark Walton was just a fantastic running back that made our line look way better than they really were. Meanwhile, you got a guy like Travis Homer who's going to take his holes, take his opportunities, take his lanes, a very system-oriented type running back, and he would consistently get, thrashed in the backfield, mainly because of our piss-poor line blocking. They don't push anybody. So once again, I digress again to say, Casey McDermott, who I was very, very down on. I thought he was a joke. I think he still is a joke. Undrafted free agent. And you wonder why. We, the Hurricane Faithful, would say he was our most consistent lineman. I don't believe that, nor do I see that at all. But for some odd reason, whenever we talk about linemen, we always talk about Casey McDermott. He was a joke. There were times in those games, like in the Syracuse game, he made one of the stupidest plays. It was a legal receiver downfield. Like, it was like, just like, he would do things and poorly attack assignments to the point where it would affect games, and nobody would ever look at that. Because when you watch football, you typically looking at one person only, the quarterback. You're not watching, what's going on in that line in front of him and how he's holding up in the pocket. I'm not an NFL scout, and I'm not trying to act like I'm an NFL scout, but I think it's fair to note that if no NFL scout in 6 rounds picked this kid up, and we called him our most consistent offensive lineman, what does that tell you, Hurricanes faithful? I don't know. But, hey, blame Rozier game. Full effect. We out here, right? Next person, D. Delaney. Not drafted. I don't know what the hype was, but it probably was better if that kid, he did himself no justice, in my opinion, by coming to Miami. He wasn't very good. He wasn't Javonte Dean bad, but he damn sure wasn't Malik Young, Michael Jackson good. He's an average subpar. Jags picked him up as well. I don't know what he's going to do with that stacked secondary. I don't know how he's going to crack the rotation at all. But, hey, I mean, good luck to the Canes. I'm always going to wish luck to the Canes. Always, and hope that they get better. What seemed like 7-year enrollee, Anthony Moten, he wasn't drafted. He signed a free agent deal with the Dolphins, so that might have been just them looking back, giving back. Trent Harris is easily the biggest head scratcher of all these people. I don't know if it necessarily. I think he's put up 2 solid years of work. He's been putting in work as a rotational player since Al Golden was here. I'm honestly shocked that he didn't sign or he didn't get drafted. I think he has a lot to prove, so I'm excited about that. I think he's going to get an opportunity to really show something. The Patriots got a steal, so he's going with the Patriots. Trevor Darling, one of those guys who just never, he got here from, I think, Central, and he never turned the corner, in my opinion. He didn't get signed at all. He just has an opportunity to try out with the Cleveland Browns. I think that was more Highsmith giving him an opportunity to prove himself more than them looking at him as some type of guy who's really going to make a legitimate impact as a UDFA. But once again, like I feel like he's just one of those guys who, I don't want to say Jag status, because he definitely helped fill a void for a very mostly depleted offensive line, but I mean, it is what it is, in my opinion. And last but not least, Michael Badgley, he signed with the Colts. One of those guys I felt like he shot his own self in the foot. Like games, I feel like literally curved, and especially in that 3-game losing streak off of Michael Badgley's leg. If you go back and look, there were opportunities for us to get good field position or make field goals or whatever the case may be, that he just never came through and never actually made a legitimate impact. And I think it spoke volumes, in my opinion. So I'm not one of those guys who's going to sit here and say, I think, so-and-so is good. Like, I'm not going to go off what the beginning of the season was. When it came down to it, he wasn't making plays. And I think that was fresh in a lot of people's minds than what he did in the regular season. There was a point where that man was automatic from 40 to 49 yards. He hadn't missed a single field goal in his career. And then it was just like the man just became so average and inconsistent towards the end of his time in Miami that I really can't sit here and feel bad for him. Like, it is what it is. Like, I feel like he literally got us in a point where he was costing us games. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I feel okay with him or the results of what happened. I hope you go to the NFL once again like anybody else that's an undrafted free agent and get better and put on for the U, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it matters to me, you know what I'm saying? So I'll leave it at that. Now, to talk about the guys who did get drafted, and I think it makes absolute sense, with the exception of Trent Harris. I think Trent Harris should have absolutely been drafted. I think he's going to make a lot of money in the next couple of years with the Patriots, like I stated before. I think he's going to get an opportunity to really make an impact and let people feel him. But let's start with our first Kane, Major 9, a.k.a. Chad Thomas. We did not have a first-round draft pick, so saga continues. Hopefully we can get back to that again in the next couple of years. But 67th overall, Chad Thomas, picked by the Cleveland Browns. With the way I said Trevor Darling was an experiment and an opportunity, I don't think Chad Thomas was that. I think Chad Thomas was a legitimate defensive end, monster in tackles for loss, aggressive, gets to the ball, understands he could be the stand-up linebacker in a 3-4 system, or maybe at 4-3 in the sub package, depending on what the Browns want to run. But he has that versatility, and that's what I like the most about him. Whether he can stand up or just attack with his hand in the ground, he'll be able to do it. Then in the 4th round, we had Christopher Herndon in the 4th, 107th overall. Definitely got me excited and happy. I feel like he's one of the guys who's going to make more of an impact than other tight ends immediately. I don't think I'm not going to throw franchise on him, but I definitely think that if he gets with fellow Hurricane alum Clive Walford, who just signed with the Jets, and learns the basics of understand how the NFL works, he'll overtake Clive Walford and can possibly become a franchise type tight end. Kind of like Shockey was with the G-Man, things like that. So we'll have to wait and see for him, but I'm not throwing franchise on Chris Herndon yet. 5 picks later, you have Mark Walton, who I think, just based off of sheer size, ability, understand how the game's changing, I think he would take Giovanni Bernard over as the franchise running back. I don't say that about anybody. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. I just think like his skill set and his tool set, they got a steal with him, and I think he's going to be able to take over in that aspect very soon. So I'm definitely excited for him. To put that in perspective, they just had the rookie showcase or whatever in LA. You got all the guys going out there, and the Bengals sent Mark Walton for that showcase. And not only did they send him, he's front and center along with Lamar Jackson and Calvin Ridley, 2 other Miami guys who slipped out of Miami and went to go play college football somewhere else. I think that says a statement. I think it makes a big difference. NFL Twitter agrees with me. You got guys like Sam Darnold, who went first round in the back row, and people were commenting about that, like, how did that happen? So I think that's, to me, it speaks volumes of what the Bengals did. It didn't look like it was in type of alphabetical order or anything like that. So for me, it speaks volumes, and it kind of states to me, and this is just to me, that Mark is possibly being looked at by his franchise as someone who's going to make a difference. So I'm looking forward to that. Definitely. Also, you got what I feel, and this might be biasness, but I've watched him play. I've had the luxury of watching him play, knowing what I think he was worth, and then watching him where he got selected. I think R.J. McIntosh, in my opinion, is a franchise-changing defensive tackle. He was picked 5th round, 139th overall. I just feel like the Giants got a steal. I feel like when you sit back and look at his body of work, Canes fans know what I'm talking about. he's athletic. He will get after the quarterback. He's very efficient with his hands, with his speed, timing, twist, bend, rip, move, power move, finesse move, all of that. And I think for what Snacks is the run stopper, my man RJ fills in as that pass stopper, getting to the quarterback type defensive tackle. That's me though. I'm calling him the franchise. I'm not saying anything else anybody else has said. I'm saying DJ Medi Major feels like RJ McIntosh is going to be a franchise type defensive tackle for the New York Giants. But we'll have to wait and see, right? You know what I'm saying? So, shortly after that, 6th round, no surprise to any Canes fan in America, Braxton Berrios going to fill that typical Caucasian burner slot speedster role for the Patriots. They got young at the position, and I also think they got better at the position. Like I said, 6th round, 210 overall. Super excited for my guy. I think he's going to go over there. I think he's already kind of morphed into a fan favorite. And we definitely going to see how he gets to evolve. I think he's one of those guys that for everything that, those other guys didn't do, the Wes Welkers, the Demian Madolas, I think Braxton Berrios is willing to do. So, like I said, surprising no one. I think it was an absolute steal for them. Shout out to the Patriots for that. That's the only shout you'll ever hear me give them. And that's what's up. And then last but not least, drafted 7th round, 242 overall. Kendrick Norton drafted to the Carolina Panthers. I think they got better at that position as far as depth goes, but I don't see him being a franchise type player for the Carolina Panthers. One of those guys I felt like should have stayed, got more time on film, and would have possibly made a huge impact, and definitely probably would have been in the conversation with all those Clemson defensive linemen that's coming out next year. He could have easily became a 2nd, maybe 3rd round instead of a 7th round. So he got bad advice in my opinion. I think a lot of the Canes fans will agree with me as well. Same thing with RJ McIntosh, but what's done is done. He got to press now, and we got to just see how these guys are going to become, Quite honestly, I'm not going to beat y'all to death. I'm not going to beat this dead horse. I'm proud of all those guys. I want to see them prosper and make noise. I'm always big on that, man. I think the level of talent we put through the NFL was game-changing. It defined a generation of NFL players and fans, and I think we need to get back to that, because I think a lot of these schools are walking around like they got that same type of clout, and they don't. They act like it, but you could be Alabama and put out loads and loads of players, but if you put out a high volume of players who aren't making an impact, then you wasting your time. You wasting your time chasing that clout or chasing that title of we the best or NFLU or whatever the case may be. You got to put out Hall of Famers, my guy. Like that's how it got to be. You know what I'm saying? Like Ray Lewis is coming to Hall of Fame. Ed Reed, you know what I'm saying? Like Brian McKinney's, Warren Sapp is in. Michael Irvin's like that's the level of consistency that I yet to see this from any other program. We put out guys who are great in college and they end up being average in the NFL. That's not the move. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for right now, man. Really short podcast. I'm not gonna really beat that dead horse. Kind of figuring out what direction I'm gonna go. I'm about to go make some moves. You know what I'm saying? In the next couple days, couple weeks, couple months actually. So bear with me. I'm definitely trying to get my boy Tabby, like I said before. Got a mix coming up for y'all. I'm really in a particular mindset and mind frame about that wave of rappers that come from the new generation per se. The little Pumps, little Zans, little Skies, little whatever. Right now, I'm not gonna lie, man. 2 guys got my eye. One is a Kana, and the other one, Lil Baby got my eye, man. Like I'm really focused on this kid. I like how he's moving. For someone so raw to the rap game, I'm liking the content he putting out. But the guy who got my eye for sure, Louisiana Zone, young boy, NBA young boy, however you want to say it. Man, I just like the kid's vibe. I like the wave that he's on. I want him to stay out of legal trouble because, you know, there's no good that comes from that. You know what I'm saying? I see him making big moves in the future very soon. You know, I guess a running up I had to say is my guy Black Boy JB out of Memphis, man. He took that, you know, that Drake single, that shoot, that dance, the whole wave, and he's just making his own lane right now. We got to see how long it's gonna continue. But that's neither here nor there. That's a whole nother subject. You know what I'm saying? I would do a hip hop podcast, battle rap, NBA playoffs, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna get at y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know what's up. You know what I'm saying? So please bear with me. I will have the mixes up. Next one for 52. Thank you once again for listening. Please make sure you like on iTunes, like on Podbean, like the YouTube. There's going to be a YouTube version of this as well for my YouTube people. You already know the socials. You know what I'm saying? We just opened up the Let's Do a Major Podcast Twitter. So I got the Let's Do a Major Podcast Twitter, the IG, the DJ Medi Major Twitter, the IG. You already know it's how we rocking out here, man. Hey, at the end of the day, a lot of guys say that they great. A lot of guys say that they the best. But at the end of the day, man, we good.
You're listening to DJ Medi Major.